how our constitution formed or come into existence and when. Here you can see the photographs of the major one who contributed in our constitution. They are also called creator of constitution. They are Maulana Azad, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sarojini Naidu, Kanhaiya Munshi. These were the major one among the creator of constitution. Now I am going to check. Yes, no one will type more than one time. I can see so many comments. First of all, Rabadia Thai,
Yes, sir.
hit the slide.
Okay. Why do we need a constitution? What if there is no constitution? No country can function without a constitution. A constitution serves many objectives. It is a document which finally views the ethos and ideals of our country. It tells about the kind of government our country would have, how to run the administration of our country. In in a democratic form of government, we elect our leaders so that they can run the administration on the behalf. However, there are provisions in the constitution to check the misuse of power by the leaders.
Yes, here, first of all, there are two questions. Why do we need a constitution? As we know, constitution is a framework of rules to run the administration of a country. Why we need? Because without rules, everything will be disturbed. When we are in the school, we have rules, and we all, students as well as teachers, must follow the rules. Without rules, there will be mismanagement. Similarly, in a country, constitution is necessary. How to administrate, how to make laws, what are the steps, what are the rights, what are the duties, what are the types of punishments, etc. And for that, we need constitution. What if there is no constitution? In one line, we can say, if there is no constitution at that time, the country would be mismanaged. The mighty will be right. This kind of concept will be occur in the country. No country can function without constitution because constitution is a book of rule to administrate or function the country. Without it, not possible. Our constitution or a constitution serves many objectives. It is a document and finally viewed ethos and ideas of the country or culture we can see in our constitution. Besides this, our constitution also tells the types of government, what kind of government. As we know, generally we have three types of government: monarchy, democratic, and communist. Following the bank's demise in 1998. In our country, we have democratic government. All three types of government we have studied in class 6. Here in democracy, we select our leaders. We ourselves not rule, but we select the leaders, our representative, give them power to rule on behalf of us. Besides this, as we are giving them power, there are some restrictions or rules for them. If they misuse their power, we can reject or punish according to the constitution. Then, things to know. The Constitution of India has borrowed some special features of the Constitution of Britain, Ireland, France, United States of America. When our constitution was going to prepare, at that time, our leaders has referred so many constitutions of different countries. Major of them are Britain, Ireland, France, USA, etc. Besides this, the main feature of our constitution is the longest written constitution in the world. First thing, it is a written format and it is longest one. Whatever the written format constitution available in the world, India's constitution is the longest one or largest. Now we are moving to our next topic, democratic rule. Savalia Chris.
Okay, sir. Silent features of our constitution. Democratic rule. India has adopted the democratic system of government. General elections are held in our country every 5 years. Citizens above the age of 18 are eligible to cast their vote. We cannot imagine democracy without elections. People all over the country played their role in electing their representatives. Any voter of the country can contest an election irrespective of his or her religion, caste, class, or gender. The elected representatives rule for 5 years. Every citizen enjoys the freedom to follow religion of his or her choice, as well as freedom of speech, experience, and thought.
Very good. Now, as we have discussed about our constitution, it is the longest written constitution of the world. Now, what are the features of our constitution? First of them is democratic rule. As we are democratic country, we adopt the system of democracy in government. Every 5 years, general elections are held and all Indian citizens whose age is 18 or more and whose names are in electoral register, they can cast vote. We cannot imagine democracy without election because if there is monarchy, king's son will be king. He will think mostly about his own interest. People's or public welfare will be second option for him. But here, democracy, if we think our leaders are not good, they are not thinking of us at that time, we can change, cancel, or reject them. And so that democracy without election is not imaginable. People of the country, they play a role in electing their representative because there are so many representatives in election and one who got majority is elected by the particular region or constituency. Besides this, any voter of the country, Indian citizen, he can vote as well as he can participate in the election without any discrimination of his, her religion, caste, class, gender, language, whatever it is. Without discrimination, all are equal. And every one of us can participate in the election process. Elected representative, those who are elected by the people with majority, they are elected only for 5 years. After 5 years, there is re-election. If the people satisfied, they re-elect. Otherwise, they reject and change the candidate. Here, every citizen of India has a different rights, different types of freedom, different types of choice, such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression and thoughts, etc. These are some kinds of freedoms in our constitution. Besides this, we have freedom to follow any religion, we have freedom to live at any place of India, we can buy, sell properties, we can business or have a job at any part of India, etc. are the freedoms given by our constitution. Next one, Ravi Pratap. Yes, Ravi
Yes,
Pratap.
sir. Yes, sir.
Continue.
Okay, sir.
Second feature.
Okay, sir. Silent features of our constitution. Secularism. A secular nation means that the government does not conform to of any particular religion in its system of governance. The citizens are not discriminated on the basis of their faith, sex, religion. Every citizen enjoys the right to follow and propagate the religion of his or her choice.
Secularism. We are secular country. It means our government does not follow any religion. Government respect each and every religion, but does not follow any religion. Besides this, citizens, they are not discriminated on the basis of faith, sect, or religions. Every citizen, whether he is Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, Parsi, Jain, whatever is, they can enjoy their rights. They can follow the religion of their choice. They can propagate their religions. These are the means of secularism. And ours is a secular country. Third feature, Ganatra Siddhant.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Silent features of our constitution. Third feature is republic. Republic means a government that obtains powers from people directly or indirectly. We have adopted a democratic republic system of government, which means that powers are not limited in the hands of a few privileged people. Rather, it is accessible to all the citizens irrespective of their caste, class, religion, or gender.
Republic, we are republic country. It means our government which obtain the power. How? By the people. People directly or indirectly vote and choose. Suppose at state level we elect our MLA. Central level we elect our MPs. And central level there are two houses, upper and lower. Lower house means lower house we select our MP, and upper house MPs are selected indirectly, means the MLAs of different state select their, this way indirect and direct. We select the people in power. Thus, power is in the hands of people. It is not in the hands of the rulers. In this way, citizens, without any discrimination, they can choose the leaders of their choice and hand over the power to the people they want or they choose. This way, we are a republic. Now, things to know. Any common person, man or woman, be it a hawker or a vegetable vendor, can become the sarpanch of village. For example, a Mason Manjibai contested election of Legislative Assembly and become the member of Legislative Assembly. As we know, all the citizens are equal in front of Constitution without any discrimination, and so that every people can participate in election process. Here the example is hawker or vegetable vendor. They can also be sarpanch, MLA, MPs, ministers, according to their capability. One example is given, Mason Manjibai. He participated in election process and become MLA. He was selected with majority and thus he became an MLA. Here you can see central government. Head president. The rule of central government is run on the name of president. Besides this, President is considered as the first citizen of our country. Under him, three as three branches of the government we can see. Other words, we can see three organs of the government: legislative, executive, and judiciary. In legislative, we have parliament, central level we are talking. At parliament, we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, lower house; Rajya Sabha, upper house. Second, executive body. Here, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, and beside this, we can also add the civil servant, government officer. And third organ, judiciary. Here, Supreme Court. Under it, there are High Court, District Court, Taluka Court, and all other courts of India. These were central government functions. Next one is state government. As in central government, we have president. In state government, governor is the head of the state. Whatever the administration of the state is going on, it is on the name of governor. Under him, three organs as in central level: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Legislative, state government legislative assembly means Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad. In executive, CM, Council of Ministers. Judiciary, High Court is the head. Under High Court, District Court and Subordinate Court. Here, under Council of Ministers, local administration. It means local self-government. We call it Panchayat Raj. Here, Gram Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat, Municipal Corporation, etc. are added. And this way, government functions at different level, whether it is state level and central. These photographs describe the functions of government. Here, enact law. Here we can see implement law, means government protects our rights. Here, representatives, we elect them. They tell us what are their visions, how they rule the government, how they lead our country, how they develop our country, etc. Here, election process, public opinion. As this, suppose two leaders are there. Here, public opinion, we will select one of them. One who will get majority will become member of particular form of body, whether it is local self-government, state government, or central government. This way, the function of our government is going on in our country or in a democratic country. Next slide. Vakasya Trusil.
Yes, sir.
Continue, beta.
Okay, sir. What one? Legislative, executive, and judiciary are the organs of government. Legislative makes laws, executive with the help of civil service officers implement the laws, and judiciary makes people follow the law and does the work of providing justice.
As we have just discussed, the three organs of the government: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Legislative, the function of legislative is to frame law. While executive, here CM, PM, Minister, Council of Ministers, and government officials, they implement law. Whatever the law made by legislative, executive committee implement law. In judiciary, if anyone does not follow the rule or break the rule, at that time, judiciary, its function is to punish those who break the law. Think. Gujarat also has Vidhan Sabha, Council of Ministers, and High Court. Why? As we know, we are in federal state. India is a large country and it is much difficult to rule over one place or from one place. And so that we have adopted federal system of government. Here we have three levels or three-tier structure of government: central, state, and local self. Thus, with the Gujarat Vidhan Sabha, or Gujarat has Vidhan Sabha, Council of Ministers, and High Court. to reduce the workload of central government. Then we are moving ahead. Federal state, as we have just discussed. Gajera Smith,
Sir, remaining.
Gajera Smith remain.
Yes,
Okay,
sir,
then read.
remaining.
Then read.
Okay. India is a federal state. There is a distribution of subjects on which the central or the state governments can frame laws. There are three such lists: union list, state list, and the concurrent list. Laws framed by the central government are applicable to the entire nation.
Yes, federal state, as we have discussed, we have federal system of government, central government as well as state government. And so the different subjects means different area or issues are divided among central government and state government so that they can frame the law according to it. Suppose the subject or area which are related or which can be solved by state level or at state level, these are the power to make the law, to frame the law, it is with state government. While the area or subject which are related to whole nation, suppose medical, health, it is state level, state government can function. But foreign, defense, these are central government function. And union government make or frame laws on it. So these are included in union list. And third one, that is called concurrent list. First one, state list. Here the area or subjects of central state government. Second one, union list. Here the area or subjects related to whole nation, means central level. And concurrent. By mistake, if in future new area, new subjects occur, which is not included in either of the list, at that time, both of the government have right to make or to frame laws on this subject. But the final power, final decision is with central government only. Then, next one, Manna Somdeep.
Yes, sir. Fundamental rights. Fundamental rights of India citizens are provided by Constitution of India that was adopted on the 26th of November in the year 1949, but was put in use on the 26th of January 1950. The fundamental rights of Indian citizens guarantee that the residents of the land can lead a peaceful life as long as they inhabit the country. The individual fundamental rights of Indian citizens are most of the time similar in all the democratic countries.
Very good. Because of time limit, we have to stop right now. Again repeat.